So you just signed up for your first triathlon, you look online what you needed to get, and damn, is there ever a lot. There's so many juicy items you need to get in order to get in a triathlon, but you don't absolutely need them all. I'm gonna talk about how I first started and why you shouldn't do what I did. I went too hard too fast, and it just made everything so much more stressful. But follow these few tips I have in this video, get the gear that I'm about to talk about if it's your first season, and you'll be golden. Don't worry, I'm not dressed like a ninja. I'm not gonna go assassinate anyone. It's just like -15 out and I need to go for a run. So I'm gonna go do that, then we'll talk about all that good stuff later on. Let's do it. Oh, man, it's chilly out there. I'm just defrosted now, but it's time to talk about swim gear because that's what you're all here to learn about, right? And I bet you're thinking, I don't want to look stupid like this guy right here, but don't worry, you're gonna. I'm gonna get this off my head because honestly, I can't think with my brain cells being compressed like this. I'll see you in a minute. Oh, damn, that's much better. Now that my brain cells are all compressed, let's talk about the swim gear you need to get in a triathlon swimming. Okay, so there's really only 3 things that I think you need to buy and 1 thing that you should rent. So, first 2 things are obvious. You need the goggles and the swimsuit. Mine's in the wash right now. Not in the greatest condition either, but you do need a swimsuit as well. The third thing, many people don't actually know about this thing, but when you're swimming in the open water, I honestly think it's an essential. So, this thing right here is called a safe swimmer swim buoy or something along those lines. Anyway, I'll link it down below. So essentially what it is you blow it up and you attach it to your body when you're swimming in the open water. And it allows the boats to see you when they're going by you, and also a little safety net if you're having a panic attack in the water like I often do. I grab onto it, I calm myself down, and I continue on. The thing that I think you should rent is your wetsuit. Because if you're not gonna stick with triathlon for a second season, that thing's just gonna be sitting in your closet collecting dust. It's not gonna resell for much, so why not just rent it to make sure you're gonna stick with it and then invest a few $100s to get yourself a nice one. They're pretty awesome, don't get me wrong. They provide a nice safety net in the open water and the buoyancy is the creme de la creme. There's no comparison between swimming with and without a wetsuit, for me at least, because I'm a sucky swimmer. For the more elite athletes, yeah, take it or leave it. But when I get a wetsuit canceled swim, I'm crying myself to sleep that night, boys and girls. So if you're one of the more fortunate individuals who have all these cash dollar bills, you look in your bank account, you can't even see the numbers, they're rolling off the screen, why not just invest in a few more succulent items, right? So for those succulent, tasty items that you can afford, I think you should buy an extra pair of goggles because there's nothing worse on race day when you go to put your goggles over your head and snap. Damn, that is the worst feeling in the world. And with that extra money, I think you should also buy your own wetsuit because if you can afford it, why not? Just buy the wetsuit and then burn it at the end of the season if you're not gonna stick with it. You don't care, you're Richie Rich, okay? Oh my minions, we get to the best part of the show, the cycling part of triathlon. Bank account cry. These fellas, man, I'm sorry. When I put on that helmet, a different side of me comes out, but damn, is the cycling part of triathlon ever expensive? Holy moly, can that thing add up? It's a rabbit hole, really. You can spend as much as you want, but really, if it's your first season, use that rust steel mountain bike you have in your garage, all right? Because there's so many people that I see out there having the best time of their lives on their mountain bike, so why not? But if you don't have a bike, go on Craigslist or Kijiji and figure that out, man. Go on there and look for a used bike. Just make sure that the components are relatively in good shape. Make sure there's no rust or anything. Make sure the bike was maintained. I'll do another video on buying a used bike in the future, but for now, just realize that if the components aren't rusty, go ahead and buy them, man. Of course, aside from the bike, you need a helmet. Those 2 are the most essential things. Actually, they're really the only things you need. But also, I forgot to mention that if you're buying a used bike, you may find an ad that says, pedals not included. And that's super weird, man. When I first got into this, I never thought that bike comes without pedals. They call these pedals clipless pedals, but you clip it makes absolutely no sense to me. But anyway, so if your bike doesn't come with pedals, stupid, go down to your local bike shop and buy the cheapest pedals they can find. That's all you really need, and use your running shoes to pedal your bike. But of course, if you're like myself and live in Canada, you can't go out there right now and ride your bike. So you will need access to a stationary bike in a gym or an indoor trainer. The indoor trainers, yeah, go ahead and buy yourself a $100 one or something. Don't go crazy and buy an expensive one. again, look on Kijiji or something like that to find this trainer. It's all you really need. But for those people, again, that have the cash dollars, succulent items for you. Go ahead and buy yourself a smart trainer. You deserve it, baby girl. Or also some cycling shoes and those clipless pedals I was talking about. They really don't seem like they make a big difference, but man, the power transfer is just so much better. It makes the ride feel completely different. Go ahead and try them out. Ask your local bike shop to take them for a spin, see how they feel first, but you won't regret it. The finale, running. This part you do need quite a bit of gear, so I understand if you don't want to do it after this. This is probably the most expensive part. You need one pair of shoes. The end. For those people that like succulent items, get 2 pairs of shoes. I have myself a pair of stability shoes, nice and beefy right here for my long runs, nice and padded, little nice smooth run. But I also have these fast ass racing shoes, nice and flat over here, right? Nice and neutral, makes me feel like Usain Bolt. Just fat and white. Well, yeah, that's the bulk of all you need for the 3 disciplines, but there are miscellaneous items that go along with all 3 that I think you should get. Don't absolutely have to, but the first one would be a heart rate monitor. If you want to tune in your training a little bit more, definitely monitor your heart rate zones. Helps me a bunch doing my zone 2 training. They're like $100, I think. Definitely worth it. Next would be a GPS watch or triathlon watch. I use the Garmin Forerunner 735 XT. This watch was about $400-ish, but you can get watches in the $100 to $200 range that will do the GPS and stuff for you. Next would be a bike tire pump, because if you get a flat, what are you gonna do, blow it up with your mouth? No man, those little tube things, they're not gonna work. Get yourself a bike pump, they're like $30. That's that show, baby girl. That's all you need to get started in your first year of triathlon. Don't worry about the gear in your first year. Sign up for the experiences. These races can be super expensive to sign up for. In my province, they're about $70 per race. Ironman events are between $3,000 to $1,000 depending on the distance and race. So just in your first year, dump all your money into races. Don't worry about the gear. If you sign up for a second season, then enter your bank account into nice bikes, nice heart rate monitors, nice watches, all that good stuff. It will come. I'll leave a link down below with everything that I mentioned here that I think everyone should get. I'll try to put different tiers of price ranges too, so if you are one of those succulent item buyers, you'll have that option as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you did. I'll catch you on the next one, boys and girls. Peace!